To the show, Chris Haynes, senior NBA insider for TNT and Bleach Report, joins now Doc Rivers.
Chris, I can't wait. Tell us what happened, man. Tell us what happened, because we all shocked. What happened?
All right. There you go, Chris.
There you go. That's my cue right there. So I can see you fired up about it, Mitch. Look, at the end of the day, this is how it was explained to me, is that when they hired Coach Adrian Griffin, at the time, they didn't know if they were going to be able to re-sign Chris Middleton. They didn't know if they were going to be able to re-sign Brook Lopez. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo, remember at that time, we didn't know if he was going to do an extension or not. And then, he was saying that he wanted to win. He wanted to win. He didn't care where it was at, whether it was Milwaukee or anywhere else. So they didn't know the direction of the team, and they kind of braced themselves to take a step back going into that next season, which is this season. And so they felt comfortable bringing in Coach Adrian Griffin at that time. So that's the way it was explained to me. Then they make the move for Damian Lillard, and then that accelerates the process of trying to be real title contenders right there. And so 43 games in, there were things that happened. There were things that happened behind the scenes. I reported during December about Bobby Portis kind of going off on the coaching staff and the players about executing down the stretch and putting together better schemes, I should say. And so there were a lot of little things behind the scenes. The defense obviously didn't play up to par, and I think from what how it was explained to me, they would have they felt like they should have had more convincing wins at this point. And so I'm interested in hearing Coach Mitchell's take on this when I get off. But, those are kind of the signs that led to ultimately Griffin being dismissed. And I will say this, I do believe, the people that I've spoken with, I do believe at a certain point, Griff kind of lost that locker room. It was a situation where Griff signed up for a job that ultimately changed on him and increased the expectation level. And I think John Horst even pointed to at this press conference that they felt like they need to make a change to have somebody else take them to the next level.
Now, Chris, I'm going to have you explain this to me like I'm from Columbus, Georgia, because I am. So you're telling me they had Drew Holiday and they won a championship. And they moved off Drew to Dame, who has never won a championship, and the expectations to win another championship went through the roof, and those expectations were so great. And when you look at the defense this year and the expectations, that's why they made the change. So if that's what you're telling me, move your hand, young fella. I want to see his face. I need to see if you're telling me this with a straight face. If you're telling me this, so you're telling me the guy they won a championship with, Drew Holiday, wasn't good enough. They won a championship. They went and got a guy that had won a championship, and then the expectations went up higher than when they won a championship, and this is why they made the change. Okay, I got you.
Mitch, I'm telling you what was explained to me. Do not shoot the messenger.
I'm not shooting the messenger. I just asked the question.
Okay. I'm telling you what was explained to me. And I spoke with Coach Griffin as well yesterday. And, he said all the right things. And, I won't reveal, everything in that conversation. But he did say, like, that was a dream job to be able to coach Giannis, Brook, Chris, and Dame. And he said he felt like they did a really good job. And he thanked the organization for giving him opportunity. He was disappointed. Felt like he deserved to see this thing through, but he understands his business.
And Chris, let's go to the present time. I know Doc Rivers very well. I've known him since back when I was at Tech and he was playing with the Hawks. Is it more pressure under him now? Because depending on who you talk to, Doc hasn't done anything since Boston. So when he was in the Clippers, they didn't get out of the second round. You saw when, the recent spot. So it's like, how does Doc Rivers come in the middle of this season with Milwaukee where it is with the expectations?
Yeah, no, the expectations are definitely heightened for Doc Rivers and for the Bucks front office as well. You have to think about this. The Bucks will be paying the salary of 3 head coaches: Mike Budenholzer, Adrian Griffin, and now Doc Rivers. That's that doesn't happen too often. And I know Bud's salary is pretty nice. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, this is win now mode. And I think of all the stops that Doc had, you could make the argument that in Boston when KG was traded over there, that the expectation level went up to sky high. You got to win. You have to win in Milwaukee. That's the only way to put it. And I think Doc. I spoke with him a little bit, very, very briefly, but I think Doc is up for the challenge. And he's spoken already. I know he's spoken to already key members of that Milwaukee Bucks team. And so he's kind of starting the process of getting everybody on the right page and kind of telling them what he's expecting from them and how things are going to change. Another thing I want to add is that he will be bringing on a few staff members to add to his coaching staff. The Bucks really value the coach, the assistant coaches that are in place right now, so they are expected to stay on. But Doc will bring over a few as well. So they want to get this ball rolling and get it quickly and do it expeditiously.